Hello everyone and welcome back to FPL Royals. My name is George and today I'm bringing you a Game Week 4 preview and there's plenty of talking points, so let's just get right into it. Sorry about that. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the man himself, Alexander Isak. Now, he's been transferred in for a record fee of about £125 million, but I'm not convinced at all that he's going to start against Burnley away. Now, the reason for this is because the international manager at Sweden has actually said he's not fully fit at all, and he actually only got 18 minutes off the bench. It was actually Gyökeres and Elanga starting for Sweden. So Isak more than likely is not going to start. In fact, I could almost guarantee it. But I personally have activated my wildcard, and I do have 3.8 million in the bank to go Mateta to Isak. So I think that could be a good strategy. Holding out for him because the likes of Palmer and Saka are injured, and Salah doesn't really seem to be firing. So Isak could be that guy. I mean, if you look at his stats in the last 2 seasons, without even playing 38 games, he has got 21 goals in 27 starts and 23 goals in 34 starts. Not to mention the assists as well. So I think he's going to be massive this season, but don't bank on him for game week 4 because I don't think he's going to start at all. Um, Now, the second thing I want to talk about is Ismail Assar because he picked up a hamstring injury in that 3-0 win against Villa. And the thing is, everyone would love to own him. He's got Sunderland at home, West Ham away. Now would be the perfect time to bring him in, especially considering he scored in his last 2. But he is potentially injured, so the alternatives to him would be Grealish for sure because he's on form. Now, it's been pointed out that Grealish in game week 8 is playing Man City, so he won't be able to feature in that game. Um, but I still think he's a good pick, especially if you've got good bench cover for that game week 8. Esteval Willian is an interesting differential. He seems to be on really good form, not only for Chelsea but for Brazil as well. So if you want to take a punt on him, I don't think that's bad short term, but he may be getting rotated with the likes of Neto. I know we've got Jamie Gittins and also Garnacho who's come in. So if you want a bit more of a solid pick from Chelsea, you could go Enzo Fernandez. For as long as Palmer will be out, Enzo will take penalties, I believe, and he'll get the occasional assist. I don't think he's too attacking or too exciting, but you never know. Maybe he's going through a purple patch and he'll continue this great form. Also, Mohamed Kudus, I think he's a solid enough pick. I'm not really too keen. I think he's similar to Enzo in that he's not actually too threatening. He won't get many goal scoring opportunities, but maybe the occasional assist. And if you're feeling like chasing those goals from midfield, I'd say Harvey Barnes could be a good pick. Whether he'll start, I don't know. It's very hard to predict these things, but those would be my alternatives for Ismail Assar if you're looking for one. So the next big talking point would be captaincy. And I think everyone's in agreement that it's hard to look past Salah for this game week against Burnley away. Now, based on the eye test, based on what I've seen from Liverpool, I would actually say that Ekitike is a better captain than Salah. So if you are brave enough, I would probably put the armband on Ekitike. Salah just has not looked the same at all. Uh, like he actually looks as if he has no threat. It's quite upsetting to see because he was such a great player just last season. He was scoring like 20 plus goals, getting like 15 plus assists. But maybe it's just a dip in form. We'll have to wait and see. But if you don't want to go for a Liverpool player, you could revert back to Haaland. And I personally have him on a wild card, and I've got him captain against Man United. So I think he could be a fantastic option still. Now you could go Gyökeres if you're not feeling Haaland, if you're not feeling Salah, and you got Gyökeres. Maybe he could have a really good week against Forest. I do expect Arsenal to dominate that game. although I believe Nuno Espirito Santo has just left Nottingham Forest, so maybe they get a new manager bounce. We'll have to wait and see, but Gyökeres could be an option. And if you want to go Liverpool still, but you don't want Ekitike or Salah, or maybe you just don't have them, you could go for Cody Gakpo. Maybe. Who knows? That's a shout. And if you're very brave, maybe Daniel Munoz against Fulham at home. But I'm not doing that. No. I couldn't handle the stress. No, thank you. I have a few more talking points. One of them is, have West Ham turned a corner? Have they really turned a corner? I think Spurs versus West Ham will show us a lot about West Ham's character, especially under Graham Potter. And that's probably the most interesting game of the game week. And, is Thomas Frank really that guy? Can he actually win these big London derbies? These are usually the games where Spurs in the past would drop points. So I know they lost to Bournemouth, but Bournemouth are actually a really good team. I think, just given everything that's gone on at West Ham over the last month, Thomas Frank has to win this match, and it's going to be really interesting because I know a lot of people actually own Diouf and Bowen, so they'd want to see a good performance from West Ham, but we will see. And the final talking point, can Aston Villa score? Can they score? Now, they brought in Sancho on a loan from Man United, so perhaps that will add a bit of creativity, but they look so disjointed, and they're playing the likes of Tielemans, Onana, who else is it? Tielemans, Onana, McGinn, and I think another midfielder that you'd expect to see in like an 8 role. So where's the number 10? I just don't see the creativity, and yeah, you can't just rely on Watkins and Rodgers through the middle. It's simply not good enough. So Sancho could be big for them, and I know they brought in Gessend. We've only seen a couple of sub appearances, but that's another huge question. Can Villa start scoring? And they are at Everton's new stadium, so we're going to have to wait and see. But listen, this has been my Game Week 4 preview. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please put a like on it. And also, don't forget to subscribe because there's plenty of more content coming soon. I'll see you all in the next one. Good luck in Game Week 4.